Welcome back to Anchored in Truth. Today we are talking about something that a lot of us overcomplicate, especially those of us who are a little bit in the perfectionist world, and that is devotionals.
Yeah, I mean, if you're wanting to spend more time with God, but you just don't know where to start, well, this is the place to start. We're going to tell you when's the best time to do it, how long should you do it. All of those things are coming up right here on Anchored in Truth.
Okay, Tim, so daily devotionals, I think they look a little bit different depending on the season of life you're in, if you're even doing them. But I want to walk people through what they could look like, because I think some people, they think it has to be like an hour or two locked in a room with a very specific schedule. And then I think other people are like, oh, I'm just going to read my Bible verse from my Bible app and move on with my life. So two extremes of how people think about it. But how do you think about daily devotionals? Like, what is it to you?
Well, I think, Paul in 1 Thessalonians says, pray without ceasing. So prayer and devotionals should go on all day. For me, I do something to kick me off for the day, like to get my connection started. I just start in gratitude, just simple gratitude. You don't have to do anything but list the things you're grateful for and thank him for them right then and there before I ever get out of bed. And thanks for this day. Thanks for the breath in my lungs, for this day that you've created, that I get an opportunity to be an image bearer of yours. How do you want me to do that today? Show me. Open my eyes to see what you see. And sometimes it's good to have something to, like, maybe you need something to kickstart. And there's some great devotional books out there that are dailies that we'll get into later. But I think as far as when to do them, for me, I got to start my day with it. You know, I got to start and end my day by turning it over to him.
Yeah, sometimes you'll hear people say they got to armor up before they go out into the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Put on the full armor of God. I mean, it's a spiritual battle. It's real. It's not just the physical. There's the seen and the unseen, and there's that battle in the unseen is a biggie.
Well, I have to admit, I have been guilty, and maybe this isn't a bad thing, but I know that there has been times in my life where my devotional, I would get up really early, but I didn't really have a plan. And I was one of those where I would just randomly open the Bible and put my finger on a verse and be like, all right, this is what he wants me to know today. This is where he wants me to be.
Right? Which
is that a good way to do it?
It's a start, right? It's a start. Sometimes it's good to, for me, I like to have a couple of books I'm reading. Like I'm reading a book in the Old Testament, I'm reading a book in the New Testament, and then I've got like some daily devotionals to kind of kick things off. And
okay, so wait, hold on. I want to make sure I understand that. So you've got two books of the Bible that you're kind of focusing on and studying. And then in addition to that, you also have a daily devotional that you like to read.
Yes, several of them. Kind of addicted to them, I guess.
Well, I remember when we were doing the thread, we were doing Deserts in the Stream.
Streams in the Desert.
Streams in the Desert. And
yeah.
it was a little, you recommended it. I'm like, it's a little poetic. So I had to, but then I really, really liked it. And what I really also liked was that you and I were doing it at the same time. And by the way, that's one where it's like, it's by the date. So you pick the day of the year and you're reading that. So we were on literally the same page. And then we would compare notes and talk about what it meant to us. Even though we weren't doing the devotional together, since we were working together, we saw each other and talked almost every single day, like even the weekends. But I liked that. I liked having that kind of accountability. I think that's why a lot of people benefit from Bible studies.
Well, and Kim and I at night, we try to do it together, and that's been a huge benefit for us, and get to discuss it together and let it sink in together. And maybe there's something that sticks that, man, there was one this morning in a devotional that I was reading. It said, real faith requires real honesty. Pretending you're okay doesn't strengthen your faith. It starves it. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. Wow. And so something like that, I'll read that one, and that just has been with me all day today. I've just been, wow. So pretending you're okay doesn't strengthen your faith. It starves it. In other words, you're not giving it a chance. You're not giving your faith a chance because you're just pretending everything's okay.
And not just pretending everything's okay when you're masking it for other people, but also you not tapping into what's going on.
Yeah. That really stuck with me. So I mean, you'll get something maybe from those different sources that speaks to something you're going through right now, or addresses what's going on in your life. I got to go back to it throughout the day. Sometimes, depending on what I have on my plate for that day, I'm asking him for certain things. Give me the strength to do this. Give me when I preached 3 services a couple Sundays ago, give me the strength, give me endurance, give me what I need to do to serve you well today.
So I like how you're kind of chewing on what you got from your devotional all throughout the day, because it helps you really remember it. I mean, I think you're really smart, and that's a lot of it, but I am always amazed at how well you know the Bible and how you can recall verses, but also teachings and lessons and how it applied to specific times in your life. And I'm thinking that's a big reason why, because you're chewing on it all day from the minute you get it in the morning throughout, or if you're reading it at night, it's the next day.
Yeah. It just, don't have a devotional that's just words on a page. Mm-hmm. Make it be the word. Make it be grounded in the word. I don't want just want a platitude from somebody. I want God's word.
Yeah, I think that's easy to do. Like Jesus Calling, and Jesus,
that's a good one.
Yeah, and they have a kids version. And so that's where my son and I, Riggs, we got started.
That's great.
Man, the day he started high school this fall, it was like we didn't do it anymore. He does his in the morning by himself, and it was like, and scene, I don't need mommy and me devotionals anymore. But my point is, I loved that time with him. And even if that's where you start doing it with your kids, I think that's a great foot in the door to start getting that habit of reading the Bible, because they've got the lesson and the word written from the author, but then they have the Bible verses below. And so he and I would always go to the Bible verses after we read that. And then I liked this parallel Bible study Bible, because then I would go underneath and read the notes, and we'd read all the verses around it. It was a whole thing. So
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying, because I think some people, like I said, they might just read the little paraphrased version on their Bible app and then move on. But we really want to be in the Word.
Yeah, definitely, because that's where the richness is. That's where we're really meeting with God, is in His Word. That's where He'll speak to us in and through His Word. I can remember when I first got the job in Panama City, Florida. I'd been living in New Orleans, and for 3.5 years.
Your first reporter job? Your sports center job?
First real full-time job. I'd been a freelance intern at this station in New Orleans for 3.5 years, but I'd never had a real job. And I was moving to Panama City, Florida to be the weekend sports anchor. I didn't know anyone there. And I stopped by my dad's office, who was living in New Orleans at the time, on my way out of town. And I said, Dad, I don't know anybody there. I'm just going on a wing and a prayer and do this job. So my dad picked a Bible off your shelf, turned it to 1 Peter 5, 6 through 11, where it talks about, your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Be firm in your faith, knowing that your other brothers around the world have suffered the same thing. And after you have suffered a while, the God will restore, confirm, and establish you. And I left that open on the passenger seat the whole way on my drive from New Orleans to Panama City, just to remind. I just kept looking back at it and repeat, and
chewing on it.
And chewed on it the whole way, and every day after. I mean, that was a huge passage for me to kind of just step in and let's go, let's do this, and know that God's got you, and even if you suffer a while, He's gonna reconfirm you and establish you and take care of you.
Were you thinking about it the day you went into work, the first morning you reported?
Absolutely.
To the station?
Oh yeah, I read it a few times before I went in. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, those verses stick with you. I mean, that verse that passage will be linked to that time period. I'll always think of that. And that's, when we talked about those stones of remembrance, I can think back. God was faithful to me then. Remember how His Word carried me through and gave me strength when I didn't have it. That's huge. And
yeah, because again, if you had taken the version of, I just got up that morning, read my Bible, prayed real quick, and then forgot about it the rest of the day. And I know that was with your dad, or even if you had just read it with your dad and then been done and not looked at it on the way there and when you got there, it would be harder for you to remember how he got you through that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And we can't make it so formal. So, I mean, sometimes when we're really going through a difficult time, sometimes words are even hard to talk.
Mhm.
You know, we can't even form the words. We're sobbing or we're just overcome, and he gets that too. You know, but he wants you to bring it to him. That's all it is he just wants you to bring it to him, whatever you're going through. He's not asking you to come perfected and cleaned up and perfect, and he takes you as you are, with your bad hair days and your and your bad breath and your uh
Bad
stumbling.
handwriting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm that person that I'm like, I've even got sloppy handwriting when I'm sitting here, journaling in my quiet time, and I'm that person that thinks it has to be a certain way. I don't know why
Yeah.
I think that, but
Yeah.
that's good to hear. But yes, there's sometimes when I don't have the words, and I'm like, I know you get it. I know you get it. I know you know what I'm trying to say. I literally will say that.
Yeah, and he does. He does. He absolutely gets it. And he's there for us, and he wants to hear from us.
So with that said, there's no time frame. Like you're not sinning or doing it wrong because it's not long enough.
No, I mean, and every day is different, right? You know what it's like to have an infant in the house. You're on that schedule that life happens, and the baby needs feeding when it needs feeding. It needs changing when it needs changing. Well, as you get older, there's other distractions. You got to be at work early this day, or the car's broken, or things happen. But he just wants us to take it to him, no matter what it is. And even if it's just like, God, you have to carry me today. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Just get me to one step at a time. Just let me help me to do the next thing. That's surrender. If we start in surrender, we're starting in the right place.
Let's talk about some devotional books that you really like, especially for that person out there who's just getting started, or maybe they want to give it as a Christmas gift to someone to help them get started. What are some
Yeah.
that you would recommend?
Jesus Calling is a great one. They have the one
Yeah,
for
it is.
kids, and then they have the adult version as well.
I got
That's
mine at Walmart, the kids version at Walmart. Yes. I mean,
it's great. Yeah, it's really well written. I also like God Calling. God Calling is a good one too. Um, it's a little more. They're very succinct, but often very powerful. So I often get a really good word out of that one. My favorite writer is Frederick Buechner, and Buechner has Listening to Your Life, and it is some days it's one sentence maybe, and other days it may be 2 pages, but it's just life. It's Listening to Your Life. That's the title of it. And so it's just little vignettes from his life that he's sharing, and they're pretty powerful.
have you ever heard of Spirit Speak?
I have heard of that. I don't have that one, but I have heard of it. You like
I
that?
like this one a lot.
Yeah.
And
What
it's
do you
really,
like?
it encourages you and makes you feel okay wherever you are with your faith.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
good.
just talking about how our purpose and how God can use us with specific examples in the Bible, and how none of them were prepared. I think you talked about that in the last episode, but yeah, I like that one.
You read in the morning?
I should, but a lot of times it ends up being at night. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's kind of my reading time.
Yeah.
But I remember back when I was, again, we go through different seasons, but I remember there was a time when I was doing it at 4 a.m. and I couldn't wait. I did it downstairs next to the fire. I remember it was cold, and I couldn't wait to get down there because every morning my mind was blown with whatever, I read and what he was saying to me. And I think now that I'm like working from home, I've gotten more relaxed with my schedule, and I think I need to start in the morning, like you say, armor up for the day.
Yeah, it just helps to have that. It helps to have God be the first word and the last word you have each day.
Yeah, maybe I just need to add it to the beginning, not change it, but just add it a second
Yeah.
time and then chew on it all day and revisit it at the end.
Yeah, for sure. For
I
sure.
like that idea.
And then maybe there's a book you're reading in the Bible that you're kind of just 'cause I like to read a book in the Bible just as like I'm reading a book. Sometimes just for the narrative side of it. And then I'll go back and recognize like some more details, but sometimes we just need to be in the story. just to let
Yeah.
ourselves let ourselves experience the story, because it's a huge story.
And you really help me see this. Like when I see you preach, you really bring the Bible to life. It's so good. But it's so easy to read a verse and move on and not get everything that was in it. Like when you talked about, when I saw you give a message on Sunday, and you talked about how the Holy Spirit led Jesus to the desert, and how you were saying he allowed the devil to tempt him. I mean, that is so life applicable and mind blowing, that like he allows things to happen because, and that just never hit me until you said it that day
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
Jesus part, about the Holy Spirit leading into the desert. Like you could just glaze right over that and get right to the whole temptation part of the whole thing. But that was so significant.
Yeah. And I think the more we read, the more he'll speak to us through it. The more
Mhm.
we read it, because I mean, I'd read that a bunch of times before I noticed the differences in the different gospels on this is my son in whom I'm well pleased, and you are my son. It's a totally different thing. And yeah, I mean, it comes through just letting him speak to us while we read his word. It's a living word. It's applicable today.
And you don't get it till you get it. Like you won't get it till you actually do it.
Yeah.
You'll never understand that until you
Right.
actually are in it and allowing it to happen.
Yes.
That's so encouraging and exciting.
Yeah. And look, what's the best time to do it? When you can.
Hmm.
When you but make it a priority to get something to get you going in the day, and then go back to it throughout the day. You get
Yeah,
moments.
you can just copy and paste it in your notes app
Yep.
and
Yep.
look at it throughout the day.
Yeah, if you look at my photos in my
Oh
phone,
yeah, or just take a picture.
my photos are a lot of devotionals something in devotional that I've clicked on, like, so I can go back and
Oh, I
look
like
at
that
it.
even better because
You
you can
know?
even caption it so you can easily go back to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a huge help for me to keep that reminder in front of me. So, Virginia, when's the best time to do your devotionals?
I like the question at the end. I'm getting quizzed. Anytime.
Yeah, anytime.
Anytime
Yeah.
you have time for it. But if you can make it happen in the morning, it's even better.
Make time for it to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you can, just get in the Word and it'll speak to you. Hey, if this episode spoke to you and helped you in some way, we'd love for you to give us a quick review if you're on a platform like Apple. And thanks for watching.